Okay, so let's get into it. On April the 8th, it seems that all the Iranian, should I rather say the Iranian regime and all its lickspits thought that it was winning when the ceasefire was announced regarding the Iranian conflict and all of that kind of stuff. So there was premature, shall we say, celebrations that were happening in the streets, such as this one here on April the 8th. Premature indeed. Premature indeed. The confidence of the ignorant, eh? So it seems like there was a whole bunch of them that were happening on April the 8th. Iran just proved that Trump is a paper tiger. Massive celebrations across Iran following what they consider a triumph over the US. Everybody having a great time. However, reality is not the case. We'll get into it. Let us play this first. I think it's hilarious.
Assalamu alaikum, bitches. This is your new Ayatollah speaking. Well, if you think about it, I'm more like your new Ayatollah. Because I told you this would happen if you kept fucking around instead of taking JD's deal. My first order of business as your new Ayatollah will be to take over the Strait of Hormuz and to bring back bikinis to Iran. We're going to have big, beautiful beach parties all along the coast with delicious margaritas and sexy mamacitas. Anyway, we're the captains now, bitches. America is back, bigger, stronger, and hotter than ever before. Believe me. Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, so it does seem that Donald Trump has been playing 4D chess all along. No surprise, I guess. Donald Trump just stunned the world. Suddenly, oil and gas tankers wanted to rush to the US to fill up on energy. Look at the Gulf of America. It's almost like 47 had a plan this entire time. Boats are sailing up, heading to our country, well, America. Big, beautiful tankers were loading them up with oil, gas, and everything else. It's a pretty beautiful thing to see. I know the sound is pretty bad on this one, so excuse the chopper.
Boats are sailing up and heading out to our country. Big, beautiful tankers, and we're loading them up with oil and gas and everything else, and it's a pretty beautiful thing to see.
So yeah, we'll get into the whole geography of it in just a second. So here's another one from, well, this is from Fox News. 121 oil tankers headed to America. Trump, a blockade is already working. So there is a blockade that's happening at the Strait of Hormuz. So they are currently, or soon to be, completely shutting down, blockading the Strait of Hormuz, considering that Iran doesn't want to play ball, and yet they're so quick to hold silly little victories when they really, really shouldn't.
A ship tracking firm reports 121 empty oil tankers are making their way to the United States of America. 68 of those 121 vessels are very large crude carriers capable of carrying 2 million barrels apiece. President Trump has urged countries squeezed by Iran's disruption of the Strait of Hormuz to turn to American energy supplies instead. Well, it would appear
that's right.
Perhaps they are obliging him. They are listening to Trump. The president told Fox, quote, China can send their ships to the U.S., China can send their ships to Venezuela, while also saying that empty oil-carrying ships from many nations are all headed to the U.S. to load up. That from the President of the United States.
Yeah, so that is Trump's plan. Seems to be working well. On the other front, we've got the United Arab Emirates are opening the Abu Dhabi, whatever that word is, Fujairah oil pipeline at full capacity, 1.5 to 1.8 million barrels per day, avoiding the Strait of Hormuz. Refusing to send oil through the strait while it is under Iranian control is described as an undeclared embargo to shift the economic pressure to the world. So the world is already moving on from the Strait of Hormuz, letting everybody know that it is really not that important. So this is Hormuz pretty much over here where they used to get their oil from. That is obviously, I'm assuming the blockade would be around there. And the UAE has gone ahead and opened up this pipeline here. So ships can go collect oil, products, petroleum, what have you, from there, avoiding the strait. You've also got this news here. Saudi Arabia has restored the full pumping capacity of its east-west pipeline to 7 million barrels a day, rehabilitating a vital link for oil exports via the Red Sea. So this is that over here. Petrol line back up to a full 7 million barrels per day. So you've got it over here. This is where the oil probably gets organized, and then it gets pumped here, completely avoiding the Strait of Hormuz section over there, and then ships can simply go pick up from Yanbu. It's both crude oil as well as refined petroleum products, which South Africa desperately needs. So I found this neat little website here, which basically shows the situation. So all the red ones are representing oil tankers, and they're all going through to America, completely diverting from the Strait of Hormuz, completely shutting off that whole situation, and they're going to America. And then I would assume you'll probably see more traffic here. Well, already you are starting to see it. This is obviously where Yanbu, there's a couple of oil tankers already going over there. Oh, you can't really see it, but yeah, the red ones are oil tankers. Just to verify that all these red ones are tankers. So getting to the domestic front, South Africa does have a pretty good viable opportunity to go and get their oil now, seeing as how the east-west pipeline is open. They can go to Yanbu and get their oil, petroleum products refined as well. 700 to 900,000 barrels a day of refined petroleum products that they can go secure there at Yanbu, effectively making the Strait of Hormuz. I'm pretty sure you're going to start seeing this go down as the blockade gets into full effect. So it is not that bad, and it goes to show that Iran and all their celebrations are premature and miscalculated. So yeah, once again, there is always alternatives, and it seems that Trump and the UAE simply clowned Iran, the Iranian regime, as they should have, because they are a bunch of terrorist dictators who do nothing but terrorism. And that is pretty much the situation. And then lastly, I know everybody was crashing out about this online today. Trump released this post Breaking, President Trump responds to backlash over an image he posted which seemed to depict him as Jesus. It's supposed to be me as a doctor, making people better. And I do make people better. I make people a lot better. Better to just repent and say a simple and humble sorry. We all make mistakes, sir. So, I know everybody was crashing out about this. In my opinion, I suppose, as a Christian, it is a little bit odd. But I think in light of, the midterms coming up, in light of all the stuff that's, just yesterday happened with Tucker Carlson and with Candace Owens and the posts that Trump posted about them and all their traitorous things that they've been saying about him, it would seem to be there would be a concerted effort against Donald Trump to try do everything possible to try make pictures like this inflammatory. Yes, probably not the best kind of picture to do, but the man does explain himself.
Mr. President, did you post that picture of yourself depicted as Jesus Christ?
Well, it wasn't depicted. It was me. I did post it, and I thought it was me as a doctor, and had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support. And only the fake news could come up with that one. So I just heard about it, and I said, how did they come up with that? It's supposed to be me as a doctor making people better, and I do make people better. I make people a lot better. As an example, the 11,000, I understand your husband's going through treatment.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's going through some very serious cancer treatment, so
yes, sir.
This goes a long way.
Yes, sir, it sure does.
Yeah.
So, yes, I get it that the optics might not look the best. I mean, he doesn't have brown hair and a beard, right? But regardless, yes, the optics might have been better as a Christian. But I'm just looking at the bigger picture almost. If you think about the midterms coming up, you think about the left attempting to garner more votes. You think about maybe the left attempting to sway people with a narrative that Trump clearly wasn't attempting to push. Again, because America is only a two-state situation. You've got the Democrats and the Republicans, basically, which are the major parties. If you would seek to... This seems to me as a smear campaign, attempting to, shall we say, for the left to garner more votes by trying to sway Republicans from the Republican side and attempting to join the left side, the Democrats. I mean, this doesn't make sense. Trump clearly didn't intend for it to be depicted, or the message behind this picture to be about Jesus Christ, as he said in his own words. It wasn't meant to be like that. Unfortunately, people have taken the wrong approach and taken the wrong understanding on it. So, look, you've got the alternative. You've got the Republican Party, headed up by Donald Trump at the moment, or you've got the crazy socialist liberal Democrats who are running America and seek to run America into the ground and want it to be exactly like the UK and the EU and all the other seemingly more and more everyday PvP like countries that they are fast approaching, because they're run by socialists, Democrats, liberals, Marxists, what have you. So I think as Christians, we should not be too quick to jump to conclusions like this, because unfortunately we do tend to want to make political figures this weird, like, we put too much emphasis on morality of political figures, and I think it hurts us in the long run because we get so fixed on their character and their how similar to Jesus are they. Look, at the end of the day, Trump is just a man, but we should never vote for politicians because of their morality, but simply because of their policies. So that is all I'm going to say about that. I think he cleared it up. I don't think it needs to be addressed. Could it have been a little bit better? The optics? Sure, could have been. But I think it's a closed file. And that being said, that is pretty much all I have. And we will check you guys on the next one. Cheers.